Hey beauties, thanks so much for stopping by to hang out. Happy Monday. Today I'm going to show you this look. I know Valentine's Day is coming up and I'm always looking for Valentine's Day inspiration, and I know most of the time it's like red or pink. So I wanted to venture out a little bit since there's already so many amazing tutorials out there for like reds, pinks, all that fun stuff. I went a little bit more smoky, a little bit more sultry. So if you like this look and you want to see how I got it, go ahead and keep watching. Alright, I already have my brows and my eyeshadow base on, so I'm going to go ahead and start with eyeshadow. I'm a little bit backwards, I feel like, than some people when it comes to makeup. I always do my brows first, then my eyeshadow, then my face, so that's the order I'll be going in today. I'm going to start with this super cute palette from Colorpop. It's called Making Mauves. Looks like this. This is what the palette looks like. Super, super cute, mauve-y tones, perfect for Valentine's Day. I'm going to start off with the shade Solitaire for my transition shade. It's going to be this one right here in the middle, and I'm just going to pick it up with my fluffy brush. I have this one from Morphe, really good for blending. If you watch my last video, which is like my everyday glam, I only use this eyeshadow brush, so I'm going to use this today. I'm going to pick it up, and what I'm going to do is just place it right in the crease and then kind of smoke it out a little bit. So just starting here, and I do windshield wiper motions. And then once I get most of the product placed, that's when I start to blend upwards. So I love this tone because it's just like that nice mauve-y transition shade. Like, it's not super warm, it's not super cool, and it's matte, so there's no shimmer in it. Just going to pick up a little bit more for the outer third of my eye. And then just blend in circular motions, moving up towards my brow. So just this part all through here, and then the outer third of the eye. So what I love about transition shades is it just helps everything look so blended and really soft. So I'm going to work with the deeper purple that's in here, and if I went just straight in with the deeper purple, it can look a little bit like patchy, or it's really hard to get that seamless blend. So when you have a really nice transition shade, it just makes it a little bit easier. So I just want to make sure my transition shade is nice and blended. And I'm going to do this whole eye just so you can see like start to finish what it's going to look like, and then I'll do the other eye off of camera. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Marquee. It's the one right here at the bottom. It's just like a deeper purple, like matte, like plummy type of tone. So I'm going to use that to really build intensity in my crease. I'm just going to use the same brush. So I'm just going to pick a little bit up, and I'm going to start it right in my crease here. So I just place the brush down and then wiggle back and forth, and you want to keep it a little bit lower than the transition shade. So wiggling it back and forth in the windshield wiper motions as well. And then once most of the product's deposited, that's when I'm going to use the blending motions going upwards, like so. Little circular motions, just to really blend it into that original shade. And then I'm going to take that same shade and put it on the outer third of my eye as well. So this, just kind of stamping it on here, and then blending it in with the rest of the shadow here. And with this color, I'm going to bring it a little bit further in than that original transition shade, about halfway on my eyelid. So I'm just going to go about center here, pat it in, and then blend it in with what I already have on. And then just blend, circular motions. And I'm going to do a half cut crease today, so this part here doesn't have to be perfectly blended like this section here, because I'm going to do a half cut crease and do a shimmer shade right there. So I'm just patting on. What I more so want to focus on right now is the outer part that we're not going to be putting any more eyeshadow on. So just making sure to really go in and blend in the circular motions and then in the upwards motions. Making sure everything is nice and seamless. Okay, so I have it about how I want it. And again, like the center part, I'm going to be covering up anyway. But I love that it's nice and smoky, but it's not too dark. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that original transition shade in Solitaire, just on the same brush, just to buff out, kind of going over where I put the deeper purple to make sure there's no harsh lines. It just kind of helps blend it a little bit better on this outer part. And then once I do foundation too, the foundation kind of cleans up this line, and I'll probably do like a winged liner. So out here, like this part right here, doesn't matter too much because it's most likely going to be covered up anyway. So it's mostly just like right below the brow, the center part. You want that to have a really seamless blend. Okay, so now for the fun part where we're going to go ahead and cut the crease. I'm going to use my favorite concealer. This is the Lancome Tient Concealer. If you saw my foundation routine, you know I love this stuff. I'm going to use the shade 090 Ivory. This is the lightest shade. When I do a cut crease or a half cut crease, I like to make sure to use a lighter concealer. It really just helps the eyeshadow pop a little bit more than if I were to use a darker shade. So that's why I'm going to use the 90. I use this under my eyes anyway. Okay, so all you really need for this part is a really tiny brush. So I think this one's from like Real Techniques. It's just really tiny. I use this to carve out my brows, and then I also use it for cutting the crease and things like that. So I just have the product in the back of my hand. I'm going to pick just a little bit up. You don't want to start off with too much. You can always add more, but if you get too much on your eye, you can't really take it away. So I look down into the mirror and I just start right on my eyelid. Like this part is easy, right? You know that's where you're going to be putting the shimmer shadow. So I placed it here, and then I'm just slowly building it up into that crease area and just making a sharp line. I'm just going to go about halfway on my eyelid. And you want to just be really slow with this part, that way it's not too high up or you don't get too much product on. And I'm just making sure everywhere that I want that lighter shade, where I'm going to go in with the shimmer, has a nice amount of concealer. Not too much though, because then it can get a little bit chunky. So stopping about right here, I'm going to blend this part in just with my finger. You'll see in a minute when I tap everything in. But just making sure this is exactly how I want it. I'm going to blend it in with my finger, but I use the brush to really deposit the product and get the exact shape that I want. Once it's on there, then I'm just going to go in with my finger and just tap, just to blend it in so that when I put the eyeshadow on top, there's not too much concealer. You still want it to be a little bit tacky, but you don't want it to be too much product. And that's when I'm just kind of softening that line that was right there. I'm just slowly bringing it out here. Not too much though. I don't want to bring it all the way to the outer corner. Just about 2/3 across the way. Okay, so now before I go in with the shimmer shade, I'm going to take my deeper purple shade and just blend it a little bit more right here. Just using tapping motions and blending it so that line kind of disappears, so it's not super harsh. Alright, so for my lid shade, when it comes to like shimmery shades that I'm going to be doing on my lid, I like to use my finger because I feel like you just get a little bit more payoff that way. You can also use a brush, it's just preference. Alright, I'm going to go in with this beautiful like champagne-y shade in the palette. It's called By Coastal. It's this one here. Super pretty. I'm just going to pick it up on my finger, do a few swirls, and then just press. Starting in the middle and then moving a little bit towards the inner corner of my eye and then the outer third. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more. This shade is stunning though. So bright, so beautiful. And it doesn't have chunky glitter in it, which I like. It's just like that really beautiful metallic type of payoff. Another reason I like putting the concealer down is it really holds the makeup so that it's not like shimmers getting all over your lid. So I'm just kind of patting it in so it's exactly how I want it. And then I'll go back in once more with that purpley shade, just on this outer part, to really blend the shimmer and that outer crease shade. So it's really nice and seamless. And then I'll take a little bit more of that purple shade just to go right around the edges in the crease to really define. And it makes it pop a little bit more too when you have more contrast against where that shimmer's at. Another reason I like to do my eyes first is if there's any fallout or like shimmer gets down here, I'm going to cover it up with makeup anyway and it's not already on my foundation. Now I'm going to use the same shade that I used on my eyelid right underneath my brow bone. And you want to just kind of like pat and then blend. Because since it does have shimmer in it, it will kind of travel down, but you just want to have a minimal amount of that. So I'm just moving it around, kind of using that patting motion, blending down. I didn't pick up that much of it either because I didn't want glitter all over the place. And then I'll just take my blending brush. I'm not going to put any additional product. I'm just going to make sure that everything is really seamless and blended together. Once I do my foundation, I'll go in and add my inner corner highlight. Whatever highlight I choose to do on my cheek, I'm going to pop right in this inner corner, and then I'll do a little bit just to give a little bit of extra glow right underneath the brow. But for eyeshadow, this is pretty much finished. I am going to add a little bit of a glitter in the crease. It's so pretty. I love the way it looks when you have a little line of shimmer through the crease, but I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner first. I'm going to be using my favorite eyeliner. It's the Lancome Grandiose liquid liner. Just starting in the middle here, going out. This eyeliner, I swear, makes everything so easy. It really does. It does dry pretty fast though. I think I mentioned that in my last video. So you do have to re-dip several times, but it's nice that it dries fast because it doesn't, if you like look up, it's not going to smudge on your eyelid. It's not a super wet formula, which I actually prefer. I feel like it's easier to work with than if it's like really wet. I feel like it kind of gets everywhere. Alright, so I'm just going to mark it here. Connect it, and then fill it in. Alright, so the wing is done. Now I'm going to go in with the glitter. This one's from Limecrime called Pixie. It looks like this, and this glitter is beautiful, but I hate the applicator. Like, unless I was going to do it on my whole eyelid, like, I just really don't like this applicator. So I'm going to use an applicator from a different product that just has more of like a brush-on applicator, but I'm going to use the Limecrime formula. So I'm just going to pick it up. It's so pretty though. This, I'm just going to put right in my crease here. Just to give a little pop when your eyes are open. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation and pop on a lash off of camera, and I will be right back. And I'm back. So I went ahead and did my other eye off of camera, added some lashes, and I don't know about you guys, but when I add lashes, everything comes together. Like, up until lashes, I'm like, does this even look good? And then like once I do the lashes, I'm like, okay, it does look good. So the only thing that's left now is my lower lash line and lips. So I'm going to start with my lower lash line. It's pretty much the same thing as what I did on top. I'm going to start out with that same transition shade. I'm going to use a much smaller brush though. So this one's just really small and pointed, so it fits really nicely under the eye. Alright, and then I'm just going to put it right under the eye. This part doesn't have to be too clean because you want it to be really smoky. And I'm going to bring it down like this whole area. Basically, you're trying to make yourself look like you have dark circles. Something about it looks good. You just have to trust me. And then I'm going to take that same crease shade, the deeper purple, and I'm going to put that right under there as well. Just to really give some depth under the eye. And some smokiness. Okay, and then for mascara, I'm going to use the Lancome Lash Idole. This one's new, and you guys, it's so good. Like, especially for bottom lashes, I feel like it's really nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on my lower lashes. Alright, so for lips, I'm going to keep it pretty neutral. I'm going to start with lip liner. I love the one from Lancome. It's called Idole. Looks like this. Alright, so how I like to line my lips is I start with my Cupid's bow first. It's going to be a little bit hard to talk because I'm lining my lips, but I start with the Cupid's bow and I'll go up a little bit and then I connect the top and then I'll do the bottom. So I'll just show you guys what I mean. I kind of pull my lips in like that just so it's nice and tight and I can see the shape and then kind of mess with it. I'll go up. Just kind of making the top of the Cupid's bow a little bit higher. And then connecting it down. Alright. And then let's finish off this shape here. So you can see I just overlined a tiny little bit, and you can see it just lifts this up a little bit, and then I fill all the way in as well. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I like to also kind of straighten my Cupid's bow once I'm done lining the top lips. So I just go in and draw kind of like straight across. Alright, and then for the bottom lip, I pretty much follow my natural shape and I tuck my lips in again. And then same thing over here. And then I fill in that bottom as well. Okay, and instead of lipstick today, I'm actually going to go in with a lacquer. This is a little bit different than a gloss, and I'm obsessed with the way it looks. So this one's from Lancome as well. I love this shade so much. This one is in, it's so tiny, 202. So it looks like this. It matches a lip liner, but you kind of apply it a little bit different than a regular gloss. So you put on the first coat, bottom and top. And then instead of rubbing your lips together, you actually want to let it sit for like 30 seconds. I don't know what happens in those 30 seconds, but it changes like almost into a like layer on top of your lips. Like it's not sticky at all. And I'm actually going to go in with a second layer, but I want to wait till like 30 seconds is up and then I'll build it up. And it just looks so nice. It plumps your lips up. It's really, really nice. Now that it's been about 30 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and do the second coat. It says you can do up to 3 coats with this. I found the magic numbers normally 2 though. So I'm going to go with the second coat now. Alright you guys, this is a finished look. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you liked this Valentine's Day inspired look. I'd love to know in the comments what are your guys' plans for Valentine's Day. I know with it being a pandemic, Valentine's Day is going to look a lot different this year, so I'd love to hear how you guys are getting creative for Valentine's Day at home. I'm sure that's where most people are spending it, so hopefully. Here in New York, everything's still shut down. There's no indoor dining, there's outdoor dining, but it's cold. Like I'm not trying to be outdoor dining anywhere. So I will be getting creative at home this Valentine's Day. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you aren't already, check me out on Instagram. It's Ciara.Williams. I'm also kind of on TikTok, I guess. Not really. But you can follow me on there. Maybe I'll get the hang of it one day. It's Ciara.Williams on there as well. But yeah, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, so now I'm gonna... Oh no. Shit. Please don't be broke. Oh my god, I broke it. Oh no. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I look like a floating head. Okay, I'm gonna put my hair like this. Okay. I need like a colored background. Is the camera gonna die? Oh my god, no, I need to speed this shit up. Okay. Let's do this.